In the late 19th century, perhaps no couple was more famous than the sharpshooting duo Annie Oakley and Frank Butler. These two traveled throughout the U.S. putting on a show that left the spectators with their jaws hanging wide open, and then would return back home to live the life of a married couple. Annie Oakley was born to a poor family, forced to fend for herself and her crowded family when she was just a child. As she got older, she decided to pick up her father's rifle and teach herself how to hunt. Eventually, she became such a skilled hunter that everyone in town started to recognize her talent. As fate would have it, one day, a famous sharpshooter named Frank Butler paid a visit to Annie City, an event that would probably have no consequence in her life if Frank hadn't suddenly decided to make a ridiculous bet. Frank made a bet with a hotel owner that he could outshoot anyone in town. But the owner had doubts. After all, he'd seen Annie in action, and he had a hard time imagining anyone better than her. Shortly after, a competition was arranged between Frank and Annie to see who was a better shooter. And ironically, Annie emerged victorious. However, Annie hadn't just won the competition. The last shot she fired hit Frank's heart like the Cupid's arrow, stealing it in the process. After losing his heart and pride to Annie, Frank couldn't just leave the town and stop thinking about her. Instead, he decided to do whatever he could to make Annie fall in love with him. And he was successful. Annie officially became Frank's wife, and her life changed forever. He took her away and made her part of his act. But it didn't take a genius to realize that Annie was much better than he was, and Frank knew this better than anyone. Despite the masculine society of the 19th century, Frank stepped out of his role and asked Annie to take his place. She performed her act to perfection and managed to amaze the viewers so much that they always came back for more. Frank mostly participated in Annie's show as a target, often smoking a cigar as Annie shot the ash off the tip of it. The couple spent their lives pursuing their dream career and finding solace in each other's arms at the end of a long day. Despite being famous performers who had to face many tempting scenarios, the two remained faithful to each other for more than 4 decades. Allegedly, when Annie lost her life to old age in 1925, Frank became so devastated that he refused to eat anymore, finally joining his late wife in death a couple of days later. Today, they are buried together in Greenville, resting peacefully for ages to come.